to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston, and it is super that you're here with me for the first full weekly forecast with the I Ching for the week commencing the 1st of June. Bang on, we are in the new month, 2026. If you've not yet done so, go and check out the monthly forecast, giving us some good ideas around how to return back to our best self and protect our energy. Right, last week we had quite an interesting combo. We had 41 decrease, 44 coming to meet or encountering, an interesting combination, bringing us awareness around where we need to decrease, where we need to let go of people, where we need to increase people, where we need to bring our kingly self, okay, bring our best self to the leadership and domain of the thing that we're doing, how we can be the owner of the house, the person in charge, and guide and support everyone in our care. Plus that coming to meet, encountering energy, nipping negativity in the bud, smiting out that negativity, not letting it simmer, dealing with it promptly, not letting it rot and create problems throughout the whole family. Okay, so for you, what were you working on last week? This decrease, what was decreasing? Was it your bank account? Was it your energy? Was it people in your life? Okay, what was decreasing? What were you letting go of to make a commitment and a sacrifice for the future? And of course, where did you come across this negative energy, this thing that seemed innocent, this encounter that seemed one-off? Where did that come up for you in this past week? I had a new team member that was supposed to come down to come and start work from a different city. And on the day that the person was supposed to get their transport and move, we got a message saying, sorry, my current employer offered me a better deal. So that was a decrease. We had planned for this increase, all right, we planned for it, and then whoop, this person's taken away. So I was thinking about that changing line of what is 3 becomes 2, what's 1 becomes 2. So interesting, where the balance needs to come back into place. So as soon as I heard that message, I was like, be at peace with that, because this is the decrease line. Okay, it's okay. The process we were planning for created imbalance. It's okay. All right, so for you, if there's anything came up for you in working with those hexagrams and changing lines last week, please do share a comment. Right, let's get into this week, the first full week of June 2026. Oh, we have some interesting changing lines, interesting hexagrams, of course. Our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 12, Standstill. No. All right, let's look at the structure. We have on the top, we have heaven, all right, our top trigram. Heaven moves up. On the bottom trigram, we have earth. Earth sinks down. What we have is a split. The energy is not cohesive. Okay, we are separated from the flow. So this week, we are being challenged to deal with things that get stuck. Okay, blocked communication, obstruction, no's, right? All those kinds of things where things that were moving get stuck. How do we deal with this? What do we have to do to move things forward? Well, the answer is probably not too much. Okay, so the challenge with this hexagram, there is not much we can do about it. But the most important thing, because every hexagram gives us a way out, a way to master this moment and the way to show and develop through the change. The way that we deal with this, we accept the stoppage. Okay, for some of us, this can feel as painful as having our fingernails pulled out with pliers. Okay, accept the stop. Okay, so what we do when we are productively working with this hexagram, we say, okay, there's a stoppage, there's a blockage. There's not much we can do about that right now. There are 2 changing lines this week that give us some movement, so we'll deal with those separately. But for this hexagram, what we are learning to do is to stop, accept the stop, and see that the stop gives you opportunities to do other things. Okay, so if there's an obstacle in your way, what was moving is cut off, or you're not getting an answer, or people aren't answering your calls, or a project that you're working on comes to a standstill, all right? Or if the person you're wanting to date is just vanished for a moment, we just accept the standstill. This is just a weekly. Okay, It's not a monthly. We don't have Standstill locked for the whole month. Oh my goodness. Let us not jinx it. Okay. We have Standstill just for this week, and they're changing lines, and there's 2, which means we are very rapidly moving through the standstill. Okay. So we work with this idea that we accept the stoppage, and more importantly, we do not become a victim. It is very easy for us to go into a victim mindset and get stuck in, oh, why is this happening to me? Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to be in our power by choosing to accept the stoppage and to get on with other things that need to get done. Because while the stoppage is happening, if we have all our energy locked in the standstill, there's a whole pile of other things that we are responsible for that we need to do that don't get done. So just shift your energy. Let that go and shift your energy where there's movement, where you are needed. Okay, we can do this. Do changing lines in the 1st and the 6th position. So the first line is something new that's coming in, all right? And the 6th line is the culmination, the maturing of the process, right? So in changing line 1, what is coming in? This line is a line of vigorous action. So as much as there is standstill, is the energy of the whole hexagram, this new changing line says we can take action on this thing, we can do something about this thing. And the picture that comes up is, you can imagine like grass or reeds that are in earth, and you pull up the reeds. They've got that root system where they're all bound together. You pull up that root system with all the roots and a bit of clumps of soil, and you move on. Okay. There's something here where the standstill we're facing, all right, means that we have the opportunity to make a change. Take the clods of grass, right? Pull them out. This is you and your kin, right? Your little collection, your family, your work family, your little team, whatever this means, you and the people that belong with you. And you yank up this clod and you move somewhere else. There's something vigorous about making a change and getting out of the situation that's stuck. And only you will know as you work with this changing line, as it comes into your week, where is the standstill and where do you need to gather your troops, pull your people out of the situation and put down somewhere else. There's something here about making a move, making a shift, doing something to get your team out of the stuck position and relocating. So as much as the standstill energy is there's nothing to be done other than accept it, this particular changing line says something that you are locked into that has reached a standstill, where there's an environment, other people, a situation which is not of the best, which has got locked, you have the opportunity to vigorously make this change, all right? Even if it's a temporary thing of relocating. It's like an example of, you've got a business park where suddenly your team is working and there's no power. There's a major problem with power. And instead of your team just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, all right, not being able to work or be productive or even happy, you remove them and put them in a new place temporarily where there is power. It's a silly example, but it's that kind of idea of don't let the standstill get you and your team, your kin, locked in a process here. Make a change, and if the energy clears and you come back to this block when the electricity comes back, then do that. But for now, this week, what can I do to immediately shift the energy? And that's what we have to pay attention to. In changing line 6, okay, this is the standstill is suddenly, when it looks like nothing's happening, whoa, it suddenly turns into its opposite and the door opens. So there's something here, a lovely benefit of this week. There's something here that's going to come and flip the thing on its head when you least expect it. So just be patient, trust the process, get on with what you need to do what you can. Don't get caught up in the thing that's stuck, okay? Because all the energy will go in there. Make the move, reallocate, get into a better place, persevere. This switch, this thing that's stuck will shift on a dime, okay? We can do this. And that leads us to our second hexagram for this week, hexagram 17, following the lodestar. I love this hexagram. It talks about following the steps that are in front of you, right? Following the trail. A wonderful analogy I came across this week for this hexagram is what you might find if you are hunting game, okay? Not that I'm condoning hunting, we're talking about it as a story. Okay, so we are hunting game and we are tracking the spoor. We are following the signs, all right? We are not in our minds saying we know that the buck is going to be here and we're going to go there and then the buck will be there, and we are forcing a solution. What we're doing is we are reading the signs. We're reading the scat, we're reading the spoor, we are following and reading the winds, listening, hearing, smelling. You know, our whole self is immersed in this tracking process, right? And that is what this hexagram so beautifully brings to us. There's something important we're following. There's the bigger picture of what we're trying to do, our purpose, right? We have to stay focused on the lodestar, the thing that is our guiding force. But we have to, in order to get there, we have to follow the signs, okay? We are following the things that are presenting themselves to us as we are following. And then just when we think the track is going this way, if we're paying attention, we see the little paw prints are going this way. Okay, we're off in that direction, right? All the little hoof marks are that way, off we go. Right, we are following those little signs. Our whole sensory system is engaged in following the things that are unfolding in front of us. So the week is very much about building that trust, about following what's important, right? Paying attention, right, to the signs. And as we follow what's important to us, others follow us. We create a following because we are good followers. We lead by following. We lead by being servants. So that is the idea we're working with this week. We have this challenge, all right, of the standstill. We've got some energetic movement to do to shift the energy. We've got a breakthrough happening towards the latter half of the week, and we have this wonderful thing of following up. Just follow the footsteps in front of you. Follow the trail. Don't try and overthink it or pre-plan it or overcomplicate it or be too mental. You are following the physical signs, right, that your senses are immersed in, and you're letting that guide you through this week. Wonderful energy to counteract that challenging hexagram 12. We can do it. We can accept the stoppage. We don't become victims of it, and we find ways of changing our relationship to this situation rather than trying to change the situation. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you like this episode, thumbs a like would be great. And of course, subscribe. You know what to do, whether you're on the podcast version or the YouTube version. We'd lovely to have you come and join us again soon. And that is it for this week's forecast. I look forward to connecting with you next week for our next one as we head rapidly through June. Until then, take care.